We're live.
What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. Happy St. Patty's Day, but this is the Honda Classic live DFS show. Craig, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing well. St. Patty's. We're looking for players with a lot of green next to them to hopefully win some green and drink a few beer along the way. That's the plan.
I'm pulling back. I don't know if I can do it if I'm this
Oh, you're gonna
flexible, but
you're
I
gonna
got my
rip your pants. Nice, nice,
lucky socks on.
nice. I like it.
Lucky socks on. Thanks, everybody, for joining us live. What's going on, everyone? Nice to see some new faces, some regulars. A couple of these questions have been in the chat for a while. So Brad and Dan, if you're there, just give a wave that you're there and we can answer them when we get to them. But nice to see you guys.
Yeah. Thoughts on Ricky? Seriously, serious about Ricky. I think we'll get there. I don't know. I feel like we're probably on the same boat from what we've talked about in the past with Ricky. But the thing
I don't know if we are.
oh, okay, maybe not. The thing I would say about my plan this week is I've made one very bold play and then a bunch of like mediocre, sort of half-hearted, trying to be different. But then there's one
Yeah.
place I planted my flag. I pulled an Adam on
You're not
Sergio type play.
an Adam 50%
Yeah.
Sergio. That is bold. I like it. So are you just gonna tease it? You're not gonna tell us
Just
till we
gonna
get
tease
there?
it.
Is
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
that where
we'll get
you're
there. We'll get there.
okay? What did I want to say before we get into
Oh, the
this? Subscribe to our
withdrawals.
channel.
Yep, subscribe, like, ring the bell. You've got the withdrawals in
Ring the
front of you.
bell. Yeah, so we had Daniel Berger late today, Kramer Hickok, Doc Redmond, Scott Piercy, Gary Woodland, Sam Burns, Brian Harmon, Kyle Stanley, Danny Willett, all out. Some COVID, some different injuries, but they are all out. So, I mean, it feels. I talked about this in a Discord. If you want to join our Discord, the link is below. It feels like one of those weeks where the optimal lineup is going to be thousands under.
Well,
Like nobody will have
yeah,
projected
yeah. It
an
depends a
optimal
lot
lineup.
on what the guys at the top do because there's so few
Yeah,
guys at the top and they weigh salary so much. And in this kind of field, anyone could go out there and take it. So I
absolutely.
actually kept ownership up high. I don't know. Like my plan originally was to hammer on Daniel Berger, so I have had to rejig things in a hurry, and I still stayed up high. I like a lot of the plays up above 10K.
Yeah, I mean, so do you want to jump into it?
Yeah, yep, I think so. I mean, there's no point sitting around.
Actually,
Oh,
let's
how
talk
many guys do you have in
wind
your
first. Wind.
wind? Yes.
Let's
Okay.
talk wind.
Wind.
So, I mean, it's been talked about a lot this week. Like, what is any advantage you can get? Thursday, I mean, if I was playing a showdown, maybe I would go a little bit late and hope that um, that weather kind of comes earlier. But it's
That
constant
calmer
across the
weather
board.
gets
I
there
mean,
a little bit earlier than potentially
yeah,
forecast. Yeah.
but it's bad all across. If we scroll down to
Yeah.
Friday,
Now the thing, yeah, it does look like it calms down on Friday, and the first guys out may potentially catch a bit of the weather.
so if you want to have any advantage, maybe go late Friday, so early late. But even that, I think you're kind of cherry picking a little bit, like to find a slight
So
advantage. I did a couple of those lineups,
yeah,
but
the thing I essentially what I have done is I'm not letting it change the distribution I have on guys. I'm playing guys from both sides of the field. What I'm going to do is potentially put in a lineup that's just all, of guys I'm going to play anyways.
yeah,
I'm going to load one side or the other in case there is the impact of wind. Um,
yeah, I agree.
but yeah, there's just not enough there, and it's the reason I actually faded Berger at the AT&T was because at Pebble Beach because they were predicting that one side there was going to get favored
Oh, sure.
significantly, and then he ended up winning from the opposite side. So I think oftentimes it can when it does happen like this where it looks like it should favor one side. I think oftentimes it's baked into the ownership. There are people who are thinking about that, so you're going to get a little bit higher ownership on the favored side. But I don't know. I just trusted the players that I'm playing as much as anything.
Yeah, I like Brandon's comment here. Honda will be releasing a new 2021 model called the Honda WD. All the withdrawals. It sucks, man. Like their scheduling sucks.
Yeah,
I don't know how it must feel as a tournament host when you see the schedule. You're like, great, I'm after the players and before
yeah,
WGC.
and like
Like,
I'm 3 or 4 weeks before the Masters, so people are looking for rest.
And I think the Canadian Open was like always either right before the Open or right after the Open. Like it got hammered because of that, but I forget where
They've
it's at. I think
honestly
it's a little bit
they've
better
jumped
now.
around so much with some of the big tournaments that things like Canadian Open, it oftentimes is next to the Open Championship, but it's
Yeah.
varied over the years. So yeah, I think wind. How many guys in your pool?
Oh yeah, 36-ish in the pool, a little bit larger pool. It's just like I kind of like no one's gonna know what's gonna happen this week. Yeah, there's a couple guys up top, but after that, I mean,
Yeah,
take some shots. Be
I'm
weird. This is the time to be
similar.
weird.
I've got 27, but it's really spread out. Like I didn't feel good about committing to many guys above
No,
20% ownership. So
no.
yeah, spread it out. Hopefully, I mean the thing then becomes hopefully you get the right combinations. Like I feel like I've got a lot of really good players in my pool, but it just might be too big, and I've spread it out across too
Totally.
many. But we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, Berger has hurt ribs. He is out.
Well, so
Probably
I,
doesn't even
I
play.
actually faded him before I even saw he had withdrawn because I saw the quote or the article of him talking about last week,
Oh, okay.
and he was talking about how it hurt, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just glad I played golf all 4 days." And I was like,
Yeah.
"That's a red flag." When he's just glad he played, like not glad I was able to finish finished well while I was
Yeah.
hurt. It was like I'm glad I was able to play. That to me is I don't know if I like this guy so much.
That's a
That's a
red
red
flag.
flag. Yeah.
Like,
And then, half hour later, I think we got the news he had withdrawn.
yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, good 10K.
Let's do 10K.
Sanjay,
Start us
yeah,
off.
my one and done, my pick to win. I was gonna go burger for my one and done. I was gonna pull the trigger, but I decided to stay right up top. Sanjay, from a one and done point of view, I think there are potentially some tournaments because he plays so many weeks. There are potentially some tournaments where he's going to be like the heavy favorite in this type of field. But I was
Yeah.
like, well, this is one of them. So pull the trigger there. To me, it's
I
value
think,
just because of how shallow this field is. It's value in DFS. 11,000 is not. I like the
yeah,
value.
I mean, one and done, it makes complete sense. I had no Sungjae. I think I saw you creeping on our one and done list because you're like, okay, who do these
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
have
yeah.
left? I have no Sungjae, I have no Neiman, and I had no Henley. So I was a little bit
So if
hooped.
Westwood hadn't gone to Augusta and played 54 holes, would you have one and done him?
All he's talking about is how sore he is, how tired his legs are. Like, I get it. I played golf twice in a row in my early 30s and I'm tired. Like, yeah, he's a way better athlete than I am, but I'm sure he's
Yeah,
tired. So yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about him first, he's a complete fade for me.
complete fade. So I still went to him just because I
Complete
think
fade.
he can show up tired right now and is playing so well. So Sanjay, I've got 40%. Lee
It,
Lee, I still threw 25% on Lee.
okay, so I think it's M. How high is my camera here? M, Neiman, and then kind of everyone else. That's how I
Me
feel.
so
I think
so
these are the two best
yeah,
ones.
me too. I mean that's where my ownership is, except for my wild card. But um,
So I went Sungjae M 35%, Joaquin Neiman 40.
okay, yeah. So I'm 40 on both of them.
Pretty close.
And then
Got some.
but then
Got
I
some
threw
together.
Lee Westwood, so I have a lot more. I'm assuming I have a lot more unbalanced lineups or guys low.
Yeah. So I've no Lee Westwood. I got some Adam Scott. That's it above 10K though.
So I mean, you just look at like Sanjay hasn't anything flashy, but these are such strong fields
Yeah.
comparatively, and he's up in the top 20s, top 30s. I like his form; it's a clear play from a DFS point of view. So Lee, I just feel like his game's in such a good place, even if he is a bit tired in this field. He could show up with 75% of his game from last week and
Yeah.
contend. So I kept him in.
It is. It feels wrong. Like we paid 7,000 for him at WGC. We paid 7,300 at players, or sorry, Arnold Palmer, and then players. Now he's 10,000. Like look at his scoring average in red there. Like I know that
Yeah, I mean that goes
that
all the way
doesn't
back
that's
to
not a
the
complete picture.
2019, and then the other thing I do think for scoring average, a lot of the Euros they don't have as many soft events, so like they come across for majors, and
Yeah,
so their scoring average then gets skewed just because the
totally.
proportional,
Yeah, yeah.
the U.S. Opens and the PGA Championships you're not putting up 68 super easily.
You get beat up at the concession, your scoring
Yeah,
average is a little bit
exactly.
higher than
Yeah.
everyone's else.
Um, Yeah, so Peck, just on the early late, it looks like there potentially is an advantage on the early late. I'm not going to overload on guys who are, but I have guys in my pool from both, and I'm going to make sure I have some lineups that are stacked with just the one side of the draw. But just already from players, I'm going to play.
Yeah, so I have 20 lineups. So I'm talking about 20 max enter here. 20 lineups. I have a couple that I know are AM PM stacks, but I also have a lot of my plays that I prefer that are AM PM stacks.
Yeah.
Henley, Neiman,
So
Lowry,
sorry.
Brennan Steele,
Let's also
Golly.
finish off. I do want to get into Henley here, but Scott, full fade for me. Yeah.
Really? You love Adam
I know I
Scott.
do. I couldn't get over these numbers.
You're trusting the model,
I'm
hey?
trusting the numbers. I know it's like absurd to do, but like he hasn't been playing that badly. But if you think he's still bad value based on his 2020-2021 strokes gained total, to me that's like the one most indicative thing you could look at. And
Yeah.
he's got a great course history. Like he is in so many senses the class of the field in terms of talent and whatnot. I don't think his game is as sharp as it has been 2 years ago,
Yeah,
last
especially
year.
when you consider him and Neiman are early 20s. Lee is 47. So yeah, he is kind of the class, like the best resume
And
of
I
the
think you
group.
could make a good argument for essentially the ownership I have on Westwood. If you don't like Westwood, I would potentially put that over to Scott, just because I think you have to find where there's value here. And some of these guys who, if they show up with good form, they can win this. You need to plant your
Yeah.
flag on a couple of them. And so I
And I think from what I've kind of seen around, because Neiman is so popular and Henley is so popular, Scott's ownership is going to be pretty low, like maybe 8 to 15%, like in that range.
I can't even guess ownership this week. It's going to be so wild.
I know
I
it's
mean,
good.
Neiman's is
Yeah,
going to be
I
crazy. I
agree.
think Sung Jays will be high. I think there'll be some higher once we get down here. But let's get. I think the 9K range is
Okay,
very.
so I
Sorry,
I
go ahead.
I have 15% Scott.
15%.
That's where
Okay,
I
yeah,
ended up.
yeah.
So I don't have a ton, but I got there.
We talked about James Furyk winning. We'll get there. We'll get there. So let's do the whole 9K range. Henley, Gary Woodland's out. Gooch, Lowry, Tringale, and Chris Kirk.
So you want to hear who I have?
Yes.
In my player pool, I got Henley, Lowry, Tringale, Kirk.
Oh, I'm Henley, Gooch, Tringale, Kirk.
Yeah, Gooch has been playing well. There's no reason to fade him. I think he will be somewhat popular, but it does, again, it's that field where it's like, I'm playing 9,300, is it, for Taylor
Yeah.
Gooch? When, hey, Tringale's my boy. I've been playing Kirk for a
Oh
while.
no,
Lowry
I hear
flashed.
it for sure. I'm 20% all of them. So essentially, to me, this is the next tier here. I was so
Yeah.
Gooch. I think we're both as similar on Henley. His form isn't as great as it has been over the last couple months, but um, what's that?
Someone said Team Adam.
Team
Yeah.
Adam. um, So yeah, sorry, Gooch. I just think he's got a super hot putter. He's shown before that he can play very well when he has a hot putter. So I think there's an upside play there. I think it's not out of the question that he's going to top 5 or top 10 this. He seems to be one of these guys that we have seen get hot over the past year.
Yeah.
Lowry, I didn't get there. I know I'm betraying the Irish.
Yeah,
So
no
make
kidding.
make your play for him.
Um, I think he's pretty decent in the wind. I think
Hmm.
he's coming. He's finally flashed something at the players. Is that enough sample size to be like, okay, is Lowry back? Remember on our podcast, I said he doesn't have a top 10, a
Since
top
the
10 in
Open
a PGA
Championship.
event or a European event, including European Tour event until like the 2019 Open. Which is like it was like a string of like 30 some events he had gone without a top 10, but he came back. He has an 8. It's a weak field.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, like
I think it's a good play. I just, man, like it's hard. I still have 28 guys in my pool. To me, Gooch, it feels to me like there's just that much more likelihood on Gooch and Tringale. So I spread out. I don't know. So you have Tringale though as well.
Yeah, so Miami Mike says he's getting drunk tonight, and yeah, maybe, but I saw it on Twitter from
Maybe that's just what he needs.
why it's Matt Wiley, right? One of the other
Yeah, I
PGA
think so.
DFS guys. He said the same thing, and this Irish guy replies like, "Yeah, we played great hungover. Like, who cares?" And I'm like, "I'm all
We've been
for
practicing for that since we were kids.
Yeah.
Teenagers, maybe.
Great. Before we get there, though, I need to speak my piece about Henley. I got 40%.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't realize it was that big of a play. I just assumed we were both on him. So 40%, that's a bold move. And you were, what were you? You were 40 on Neiman?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was 40 on Neiman as well, but I'm only 20 on Henley.
So Henley, I think he's expensive. Yeah, I get that. I just liked, he just fit a lot of my lineups well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a good approach player. He clearly, I mean, former winner here, good strokes gained beyond that though, like his strokes gained history.
Yeah.
I think fine enough in the wind. It's just, it seems more of a solid play.
Yeah, I feel like when I was making this and thinking about it, I was kind of like, are we still valuing Henley like we were last summer when he was scorching hot? And so I was like, oh, like maybe I'll keep it a bit lower. But like, I don't think we are. I think it's just this field's so weak that we're valuing him at a very appropriate level for where he should be valued. So I'm cool with 40%.
There we go.
You got the yes.
Old fan. I'm leaving $2,200 in my core behind. What do you guys think?
I think you better have a lot of Jim Furyk in there.
I think this is the tournament to do that.
It seems like a lot still to me, but
I think that takes balls.
Yeah, I mean it seems like a lot because I don't think being different is super important. But if you like the plays at the prices enough, then that's fine. It's hard to price a week like this. A lot of these guys are at very similar tiers. It just depends on their form, depends on a lot of things. So.
This is the kind of week, like more so than ever, just trust your gut. Like just go with it. If you have a feeling about something, just go with it.
Okay, so you said your piece on Henley?
Yeah.
Okay. Tringali and Kirk. Both of us have both of them. 20% for me.
I got 25 Tringali and I got 10 Kirk. I'm kind of fading on Kirk a little bit. I don't know why. But
One bad day.
It kind of felt like, so halfway through my builds, it just felt like, I got my boys that need a win. It's Henley, Tringali, Burns is out, Dave is in there. Like Davis, this is a good tournament to get that win.
Yeah. So you kept some Kirk.
I guess Kirk is sometimes.
Yeah. And Tringali, I think he's just shown more recent form. I think that he's been good but not great. This is kind of field where good but not great can turn into a top 5, Yeah.
Wesley Bryan, Furyk, and Zach Johnson are all people I'm going to talk about. Absolutely.
Sorry, you're just giving I got you. Okay, into the big Ricky question. 8K range. We'll maybe take it in halves here. We'll go 8 to 8.5.
Sure.
Do you want me to go?
Go ahead.
Cameron Davis. That's it.
That's it. No Brendan Steele.
No Brendan Steele. Just Cameron Davis. I actually almost kept Gimmon. To me, I feel like there's going to be such an overreaction to, first off, the price, second off, the collapse on Sunday. But I couldn't quite justify like the price and the fact that he will still have some ownership. And, it's just, I think he's still in good form. I just don't know. I want him to maybe have a couple weeks of poorer results, so he'll fall back down to a price I really like.
Yeah, it's the price for sure. It's the price.
But Ricky, do you have Ricky?
Yeah. So 85 and above. Does that include 85? Sorry.
Yes. So Matt Wallace.
Okay, so I got Ricky Fowler, Brendan Steele, Cameron Davis, and Matt Wallace.
Wallace was another late cut from this range for me. I think he's coming in with decent form. Essentially, though, I do have Keegan Bradley as well, so I'm playing Cam Davis and Bradley, and it's just Martin Kamer. So it just felt like I was starting to stack up a lot of people from that area, and Matt Wallace was one that fell off.
Yeah, that's fair. So Ricky Fowler, 20%. I feel that's bold. That's going to be up there. I mean, yeah, I was kind of crazy to play him at Genesis, and he was lucky to make a cut. But now he's now priced at the same price as Doug Gim and Chris Kirk. Like, he is still Players Champion Ricky Fowler. Like, he hasn't forgotten how to play golf. He's in a slump, without a question. His iron play can be brutal at times, absolutely brutal. We can see the approach numbers minus 0.37 on the year. I think that is kind of turning around, but I'm fine losing 20% of my lineups on a shot at Ricky Fowler in not the best field.
Yeah, I don't have any of them. I think he is going to turn it around. I don't think Ricky's done. So it's just a matter of when are you willing to jump on it? When are you willing to take the shots at it? I was actually you guys don't know this out there, but I went to Costco today, as you know, and I was listening to Get a Grip, Max Homa's podcast, and it was I'm behind. I forget a week or two back, and it was when Faldo was ripping on Ricky on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
And so he was just like, Max Homo was defending him and just talking about like all the things that Ricky, like so many people rag on Ricky for things that like are usually like exemplary things. Like he does all this, he does a lot of sponsored work, but he's always one of these guys that's doing the charity work at the tournament because he's such a popular guy. Right. So like he is doing so much other than just paid for this sponsored work. And he's just been so good for golf and getting young people into golf and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
and so
like how many, yeah.
He's a fade for me from a DFS point of view. If he goes out there and wins this thing and gets into the Masters, I'm going to absolutely love it.
It'll be awesome. Yeah. Like ideally I would be closer to 5, 10, 15%, but I got up to 20 just with how you build lineups.
Because it's St. Paddy's Day and you're building lineups, and next thing you know.
Yeah. Because, there was another question here from Barry. Any incentive for the players on the bubble, so top 64 in the world to get into the match play? The match play field is already set, so there's no incentive there. It was set after the Players' Championship, probably top 66 if Tiger, Brooks, and other people drop out. But that field is set. Rosner got in.
Okay, so sorry, did you have Brendan Steele?
Yeah, just 10% Steele. I feel like a lot of people are talking about him this week. I think he'll be popular, but I wanted to get 10%.
He has good recent form. He hasn't missed a cut in forever. Just ultimately I had to turn the field, go a little tighter than you on the field, so I gotta find those numbers somewhere.
Cam Davis, he hasn't been playing well. I got 20% of him. Again, this is kind of a bet on talent. He's one of my favorite just up and comers, 5-year potential plays. So I'll usually find a way to play him. I got up to 20%. Again, that's probably more than I'd like, but it's that type. It is that type of field.
So JV Granquist doesn't understand the Cam Davis thing. So I hear you. It's because he's such a good ball striker. So like I want to make the same case that I kind of always do for Will Zalatoris. The reason so many people are high on Cam Davis is because he does well the things that you need to do well to be a star. So like if he can shore up consistency, his short game a bit, not even very much, like it's more just like putting it all together, learning how to get through tournaments, all that kind of stuff, playing well when your game's bad, all that kind of stuff. His off the tee and approach play is so good that it's really just he has to everything has to click on the right week and he's going to win tournaments.
Like he has that swing that people with good swings are like, wow, that's a good swing.
I know because I have a good swing. And so I look at it and I'm like, wow, that's a good swing.
Is it more festive if I put green dye in the beer?
Oh,
should I do that? I'll let the chat decide. Green dye.
Let him know if you want the green beer.
Steve Stryker was one of my sleepers. Yeah, I got him. I have no game.
No game, me as well. I think we spoke on him. Yeah. Matt Wallace, what's the justification? Essentially the same reasons I liked him but not playing him.
Matt Wallace, I think I have to go a while back, but he is a guy that doesn't prefer to hit a ton of driver. I feel like that's this kind of course. A
He doesn't
grinder,
rely on gaining off the tee.
Yeah. Okay,
We've got a split audience. Yeah, it looks like Green's taking it. If your teeth go green though, you're gonna have to deal with that the rest of the day.
Yeah, I'll just drink red wine and get rid of that.
That's not how that works.
Some kind of purple.
Don't you remember the color wheel? And
Yeah,
I think when you mix that many paints, you get brown.
Yeah. Matt Wallace, I think he also kind of gets that reputation as someone that even the European Tour he gets his wins and points on like these type of events.
So I also think he's one of these people who's tough to time. Like he seems like he just comes out of the blue and then has a very good finish.
And this, he missed the cut of Puerto Rico, right? Like he has no business.
I think that was the cincher for me. I was like, this guy missed the cut of the Puerto Rico. Like, why the heck would I put him in my lineup in this field?
Anyways, I only got 10%.
Okay. And then we're into, maybe I'll go here while you're greening your beer. I'll do the rest of the 8K range. I hope you're gonna wash that before she has to use it.
Hey, that's a nice color.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
So low 8K range. Keegan Bradley 8,400, Martin Kamer 8,300, Fratelli 82, Poulter 81, Benny Ann 8,000, and Wyndham Clark 8,000. I have Keegan Bradley, Martin Kamer, Ian Poulter.
Yeah, so I went Keegan, Keimer, Poulter, and Benny Ann.
Okay, yeah. So a little bit leaning on course history for Benny Ann.
I'm trying to pull it up.
He's got two top 10s or two top 5s, I guess I should say, in the last 3 years here.
No, someone had a dream about Benny Ann.
Oh, sorry, my percent on Davis, I'm 20%. So all those guys, essentially from Neiman, all my plays, Henley, Gooch, Tringali, Kirk, Davis, and Keegan Bradley are all 20%. Oh yeah, Billy Hauser, you were talking about Eric Compton. I saw he had qualified. I don't know, was he the one who was in the playoff and had to get through in the playoff?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
So sorry, I guess I'll justify my plays. Keegan Bradley, I think his form is good. I think his ball striking is good. If he shows up and he has a putter, then he's going to finish well. Yeah,
Keegan Bradley. So I got one lineup there.
Just one lineup?
I think it's kind of just one.
I've got 25% on him. Sorry, 20. I got 25 on Kamer.
I think it's hilarious. I think he's going to be like 15-20% in the field, and people are going to have to stress Keegan Bradley. And I already had that stress recently.
Yeah, but this is such a soft field for him.
But
you can't put yourself through it this many weeks in a row.
No, when I play Sergio, I need to take a break from Sergio. When I play Keegan, I need a break from Keegan.
Otherwise, you kind of develop a bit of a dependency, and then you're like, once you get off them, you like keep wanting to go back. I've been there. Okay, so Bradley, ball striking. Martin Kamer, you made the case on he's one of your picks. Justify the play.
Yeah, so he is a couple really nice finishes. One at Valderrama this past year. I feel like it's not a good course comparison, but you need accuracy. I feel like he's fine in the wind. He's been in Florida for about 7-10 days, I think, playing. No concerns about that. He has aspirations to get back into the top 50 in the world. Couple times he's got major champion. He has played well here before. He's being completely slept on. People are playing Wallace instead of Keimer. I feel like Keimer is my sneaky play, yet I only got 20%. I kind of wish I got a little bit more.
Yeah, I have your back. I've got 25% on him. So I was more persuaded by your argument than you were yourself.
I think I forget exactly the stats in the pick show, but I think he was second in strokes gained approach in the European Tour last year.
Stats over in the Euro Tour. I just think if he does have any form, he could, if he hit him and Westwood should be on a somewhat similar level. It's just one had second place twice in a row, So
Yeah,
So
exactly.
essentially, if you think that there's value at Westwood at 10.6, then I think you kind of have to assume there's value at Kamer at 8,300.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, and no Fratelli for you?
No Fratelli. No, it's so funny. At Riviera, I was like being thrown in the fire for picking him as a sleeper. Because I'm like, he can
He
pop.
can
He can
pop.
pop. And he missed a cut
Yeah,
and he didn't work out. But now he's priced at eight,
yeah.
like he's over 8,000. He's close to average. Um, Again, that's a price bump that's hard to
Well,
swallow.
and that's just it for me. If he was still priced down, like it's such inconsistency that he could easily be worth it. But I don't want to take the chance. I think that if I don't even know what the price would have to be, maybe mid seven, something like that. There is a
Yeah,
price where I'd play him just for the
7 to
upside, but
7,500.
I'd like to
Yeah.
see a bit of a floor and a bit of a feel like better than a 25% chance he's going to make the cut.
Yeah.
Um,
Keimer, let me just I'm going out here. That this is where I'm getting a little bit weird because I'm going different from the field. I feel like there is somewhat of focused play this week. Um, it is a reach, yeah. That's my shot. That's the shot I'm shooting. I might be Carlton at half court, heaving it way way beside the hoop, but that's yeah, he's gonna be low owned. I'll take it.
See, I like the Kame rate. That's exactly why I like the play. It's because maybe it's that shot that you're 20% on a guy that has low ownership or yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I
It
feel
is a shot.
it's a
It's
shot. Yeah.
it's a shot in the dark. Yeah.
Poulter. I went to Poulter. I think he's shown some decent form of recent. He's such a good putter that
Yeah.
this course is bad for any sort of predictability, which just sounds like the type of situation Ian Poulter can walk into. Like everything very static and the best players winning
Yeah.
is not a golf world that Ian Poulter is going to be super successful at. He needs
Yeah.
carnage, he needs chaos. He thrives in there, I think. So if it gets windy, if you have to grind, he's a guy I want to have in my lineup.
Yeah, completely agree. I'm 20% there. I like bolts.
Yeah, I think I'm the same actually. Yeah, 20%. Okay, and that's it for me. You got Benny Ann.
Yeah, Benny Ann. So I was going to say Michael T, if he's on the show, if he's in the show right now, he came and commented on our show and he said, I had a dream last night that Benny Ann won. My dream picks
Oh,
are career 5 wins out of 7 dreams. So I'm like, hey, that's pretty good. I'm not going to ride the no putting of Keegan Bradley. Let me ride the no putting of Benny Ann with some course history. So I'm like, hey, I'll get crazy with the Benny Ann's shot tracker this week. And
the thing is, I'd like to see. So he's -8 strokes gained per round at the Players Championship. I'd like to.
yeah, because
I know. I'd like to see
13.
what like he's gonna mess up my model. I'm never gonna have an accurate read on him again. I feel like until this falls
True.
off the back end. That's where I start to think I want to manipulate this. But if a guy's gonna make such big numbers, yeah, he's got a great course history too. I just didn't get there. No Wyndham for you.
No Wyndham.
Okay. Okay, into the 7Ks.
High 7Ks. So I guess go to 7,500. The plays I got here are Knox, Hughes, Brandon Wu, Alex Noren, Kevin Strielman.
So, Knox Hughes, you're just falling into the windy Knox trap, eh? I've gone down that
I got him in
road.
one. I got him in
Okay, okay.
one.
Um, Sometimes it plays out, but then I played it heavy at Genesis and in the windy day at Genesis, and he just let me down. I feel like this whole windy Knox. Okay, so sorry, I have JT Poston. I have a lot of
Hey guys,
places.
in the chat, just talk about golf. Don't go off tangent. Just talk about golf. I know there's news out there. Just let's not have to kick anyone or do anything. Let's just talk about golf.
Yeah, I think I can kick people out too if I have to. So I've got tons of plays in the 7K range. JT Poston, Brandon Wu, Adam Hadwin, Kevin Strielman, HV3, and Patton Kazire.
Oh wow. Okay.
So this is where I'm going to take my shot. This is where I'm going to plant
Let's
my
hear it.
flag. Brandon Wu,
Oh, I thought
55%.
this. 55?
55%.
So let me scroll up here. William Neal said, I like Woo to be different. Well, Craig's going 55% Woo, so I don't know. Let's hear it. Talk about Woo.
So Brandon Wu, I just think he's one of these players who is he's gonna be a top, call it a top 30, 40 player within 2 years. I think
Top 30, 40 player within 2 years. Yeah. So you're going full Hovland, Morikawa. This is where he's going.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are both top 10, top 15 within a year. So I'm saying that's where the upside is. But I think the guy's got tons of game. I think that he's been successful at every level. I think he's already shown success at this level. To me, we're not going to see, he's going to have success, and we're not going to see this price for a whole lot longer. There's just, I feel like you have to, well, see, that's the thing, Christian Cole, is it is a leverage play if I go 55% on him. So like essentially I think Woo is going to be chalky, and I still want to, it's the same thing with like say Victor Hovland a year ago when you're playing him, or maybe it's further back than that obviously with Victor, but when you're playing them when they're priced still as unknowns, and you're like, oh, this guy's going to be 30 or 40%. Well, then how do I get leverage from that? I go 55%, and I don't think his ownership's going to be there. So essentially, I'm counting on this guy being a talent. I'm counting on there being value with him on the way up, and I'm going to take that shot.
There's a lot of good takes in the chat, and I think I like Craig. I like whenever we go over 50%, it needs to be celebrated. It is taking a serious shot. Mike Keimer, 20%, that's nothing. I mean, 55% Brandon Wu. I like Jeff saying, wait till you see my 85% Furyk. Now that's a stance. Gerard, you've been with us, I think, since the very, very beginning. I think many people had 0 for 6, so don't beat yourself up.
I think I had one that was 6 of 6, and for a while it showed some serious legs, but man, there were so few out there that it's still like half my guys collapsed in my 6 out of 6 because I had Gim and Kirk, and it still was a good cash just because there were so few 6 of 6s last week. Okay, so let's go back to the top here. JT Poston, I think he's a good putter. His putter's super hot right now. I'm gonna play him till his putter's not. He's similar to Gooch for me in a way, except I think Gooch has a bit more of a diverse skill set and has a little bit more than just his putter to lean on. But yeah, JT Poston, I think this is kind of tournament where it's gonna be chaos. You knock in some putts, you can easily be up there on the leaderboard. Knox, I'm out on. Knox and Hughes, I'm out on both. But what happens when you have 55% on Brandon Wu? The people you would play right above them, a lot of that gets condensed.
So I guess I haven't said my ownership for this range yet.
Yeah.
I said I have only one lineup Knox. Hughes only won 10%. Brandon Wu, I guess I won 30%. I thought that was a lot. I went 30% Brandon Wu. Yeah, Craig.
Yeah. Well, the way I look at it, when I look back at this play 5 years down the road, am I going to feel bad if I took a shot and it didn't work, or am I going to feel bad if I took a shot, or if I didn't take the shot? So,
I love this from Jeff. He said I had 127 lineups last week. He had 1 6 or 6, and his wife picked it.
That's great.
I love that.
Okay, and so you've got Knox and Hughes.
No Poston for me. I think Craig, you have some Poston.
15%.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you can hear a puppy. I gave him peanut butter.
Haven't heard it.
Okay. I was gonna say I gave him peanut butter. He was content for a while. Now he feels like he needs another treat for staying in his crate.
Okay, so where are we at here?
Do you want to make your Mackenzie Hughes play?
No, I just have 10%.
Okay. Yeah.
Just kind of, it is what it is.
So it's funny because I think I said my top Canadian was Mackenzie Hughes on our pick sheet, but then I realized once I was going to make my lineups that I actually like Hadwin more. So maybe if I can sub Hadwin, I've got 20% on Hadwin, even though they're only $100 apart. I just feel like his 20%.
20%.
So that's
Craig,
essentially
look at his approach stats.
I know. I look at his results with his approach stats being bad. They're still good in better fields than this. So essentially, I have 20% on most of my plays now, just because I've spread it out. I haven't gone heavy aside from Brandon Wu and Sung Jae and Joaquin Neiman. Yeah, so Hadwin 20%, Strielman 20%. I think both of them are getting for. Noren I looked at for a little while. I stayed away from.
Yeah, I got Noren. I got just one line of Noren. Sorry, Alex Noren. But then I got 15% Kevin Strielman.
So he has flashed. I had a hard time trusting that he is in any kind of form, but
yeah,
it's just such a wild card this week.
It is a wild card. This is exactly the week to take your shots. I think I just saw that in the chat. Like, this is the week to take your shots.
Yeah. Strielman, I like. To me, this is one of the reasons I didn't play Brendan Steele. I feel like Strielman and Steele are probably so close to each other all the time, and I'm always like, oh yeah, like this guy. Oh no, that's this guy. I'll take the low. You know.
Yeah.
Kevin Strielman. I feel like I don't understand. He seems like he's in fairly good form. This is a course that he should be able to, he can get distance out of some courses. Yeah. Straightforward value play, I think, to me.
Should we talk about 76s and 75s?
No, sorry, Billy. I was asking if Compton got in through a playoff, because I think there was 3 guys who Monday qualified with their result, and then there was 2 or 3. I think there was 2 that tied and then had to go do a playoff, but I can't remember, to be honest.
And sorry, what's the price for Kazire? We're getting tons.
So 75. So I've got Kazire.
Okay.
HV.
Let's go 76, 75.
Yeah. So HV3 as well. He's someone I had gotten away from because he had burned me for a while, but it seems, he's made 4 of his last 5 cuts. He's got a couple top 25s in that time. His ball striking's good. Yeah, it's a shot.
So I have no 76s and no 75s.
Okay, and then my last one's Patton Kazire. Patton Kazire has made every cut since the beginning of time. Safeway Open.
That's the beginning of this
year. It does look like his form was potentially a bit better late fall than it has been of recent, but it just seems like he's showing up. So I've got Patton Kazire. I actually have some of my balanced ones. He's my low guy in, and I feel like if he's a good cut maker, I feel good about that,
Yeah, I mean, again, there's so many ways to go this week. Besides, I feel like Sung Jae and Neiman, it's anyone's tournament. It really is anyone's tournament.
And just real quick, Christian Cole, HV3 seems to be at the top of my models a lot. Like, it's because he has good approach stats. He's got good off the tee stats. He just, for some reason, he has not translated it into the kind of results you need, it just hasn't quite been there. But I agree. I think he flashes in the numbers that makes you think that he should be value. So okay, if there's anyone above 7K we didn't get into that you want us to, let us know. But we'll carry on.
7K?
Or sorry, 75. The upper 7Ks.
Yeah. Let's move to the lower 7. And here's what I got above 7,100. I got 3 players. I got Zach Johnson, who I didn't think I was going to get as much as I did, but I did. Matt Jones and Matthew Neesmith I went back to again this week after burning me a couple times in a row.
So I got there on 2 of them. I've got Zach Johnson and Matt Jones, but I did not get on Neesmith. I did get on James Hahn.
I feel like a lot of people are not. I feel like Hahn is going to be kind of the low.
Well, I hope he can support the weight.
Yeah, wind definitely looks like it's still howling tomorrow all day.
So to me, Zach Johnson and Matt Jones have just been, they're kind of cut makers who have shown
Solid.
good form. Matt
Yeah.
Jones, I'm wondering if we're starting to see the fall off a little bit from what had been good form for quite a while. But I'm going to
Right.
give him,
Right.
he did well for me quite a bit. So I'm going to give him a one more week. If it looks bad again, then I'm going to think he sort of has gotten out of good form.
Yeah, the one thing I was kind of worried about with Matt Jones is like, did he leave his game in the West Coast or does he prefer the West Coast? That's kind of what it seems like, but I think he's a good win player. I think he's a good all around game. I think I'm going to take the shot. Jones, I have 10% of, so not much. I have 20% Zach Johnson.
Yeah, I'm 20% on all three of these guys. Zach Johnson, Matt Jones, and then my other one is James Hand. Who is yours, you said? Oh, Neesmith.
Neesmith.
73, right? Yeah.
Just taking it, yeah, 73. Just taking a shot with the ball striker.
Yeah, me too.
Lower own, 2 missed cuts in a row.
Or sorry, I had been. This is the first week I faded him a little bit. He's just. I don't want to see. I think last time I think I played him all the way through this, so that left me with a sour taste in my mouth. I
Yeah.
think likely I will let him have a game where he bounces back from a bad or have a week where I let him bounce back and see it, just because I've been burned trying to be early on him before. But he is a ball striker. He could top 10 easily.
So I'm going way up to the top in the comments here, Craig, because I feel like we're in the right range now. Brad asked, long shots to make the cut. Han, Lee, which I assume is KH Lee, on Zach Johnson, Ricky Fowler, Kazire, and Strielman. Which of those guys are you not playing?
Sorry, can you say him again?
Han, you're
Yeah.
on. Lee.
KH Lee,
I
I'm
don't think
not,
either of
but
us have
Kevin
Lee.
chose him as it's his sleeper pick.
I think that's because No Laying Up mentioned
Oh,
him.
okay.
I don't know. Kevin proved me wrong.
Probably won't.
Benny on, I like. Zach Johnson, I like. Ricky Fowler, I do, but Craig does not. Kazire, Craig has, but I do not. And Strielman, I think I have, but Craig
Oh,
does
I'm on
not.
Strielman.
We're quite a bit. Oh, you are? Right. Okay.
Yeah, no, so sorry, from this range, that is
Let's look at
Matt
Matt
McNeilly. Everyone
McNeilly.
is chatting about Matt McNeilly.
Yeah.
I feel like he hasn't played good since we've left the West Coast. So to me,
I kind of feel
it's
like
a somewhat of a narrative play.
the AT&T was like his fairy tale type
And it haven't like
course. Like,
he did the same thing the year before. He was top 5 at the AT&T.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
want to see him play well away from the West Coast, and then I'll probably start to get on him once I see that form translate.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty good golfer.
Oh, I think he's a great,
the
yeah.
results aren't coming. The Pebble Beach result was fantastic, but he's from that area. Like that's exactly the course that he loves. Like that's his favorite course in the world.
Um, yeah, I totally agree with you. I just I remember at the time thinking I'm gonna play Maverick McNeely here regardless. But I think until I see some of this, like some of the fire, then and just like down the stretch competitiveness you saw from him there, until we see that a little bit at other courses, I'm not in a big
Yeah,
hurry to play him. Jonathan Vegas, I think he's too expensive. Like
yeah,
I like
I
my
agree.
plays at 6,900 more. He flashed at the Puerto Rico Open. The worry I have is he gains a lot off the tee. I don't think that does as much for you at this course as it does in others. But he's one of these guys that I think is super tough. Like if you've got a gut feeling about him, he can. Like
Yeah,
we saw it at Puerto Rico. I think no, maybe not since COVID, but. He is someone who does top 5 and top 10. So he's a good GPP upside play. I would
yeah.
not roster him as a cut maker.
It is also one of those guys that seems to. This sounds bad to say, but has more wins almost than he should. Like he
But
collects these wins by just like
yeah,
popping
but
for
that's
a
the thing
single
is when he
week.
plays well, like because he's so good off the tee. When he plays well,
Yeah,
he does really pop.
yeah,
Higgs is a fade for me. He was one of my later fades. Just felt like we saw bad form for a while. I want to see more than just the players. I mean, he almost missed a cut. He made it. He went low the next day. Like it was sort of just 36 hours of Higgs being good Higgs, but we see both good Higgs and bad Higgs. I want to see a little bit more. It is the type of play that is fine, I think, in a soft field like this. Yeah, totally agree, Grant, because I think you could do worse than Higgs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like
it's just these are the guys that, like, when I go through and I cut down from the whole field to 50 or 40 or somewhere around there, and then these are the guys that end up left on the cutting table sometimes, and I have a gut feeling to play James Hahn, and then I actually don't have anyone between James Hahn and I really like a few guys at 69. So
I have 4 plays at 7,000.
Okay, so I have none. So let's get into that a bit. Let us know anyone above 7,000 you want to hear us chat about. But what are your 4 7,000s?
Okay, I got Ches. One of my sleepers, I got Ches. 25%. I got Hubbard just in one. I got Hubbard in one. I got Patrick Rogers and I got Tom Lewis.
Yeah. So let's start at the bottom. Tom Lewis.
I'm starting to doubt myself a little bit.
I don't have his euro numbers here.
Yeah, no, I got some Tom Lewis. I think we'll see. I got 50%.
Man, he showed good form last summer. He showed good form at AT&T, which was a shorter course where driving wasn't as important and also was windy. And, I think in some ways you could say it's a somewhat similar test of what type of golfer is potentially likely to do well here. But, I mean, it's tough because Florida is a whole different beast in terms of grass types and everything. So, it's a bold play.
It's a shot.
It's a 7,000 shot. What were your other ones? Chivy. Patrick Rogers.
Patrick Rogers.
Do you hate money or what?
4 cuts made in a row. It's a putting floor. I mean, he gives a floor with putting. I
remember my thoughts as I was looking at him as like cutting him or not, and I was like, he can't do it forever with putting. But then it's funny because then I'll be like, well, like JT Poston's been so hot with his putter. Like I'll ride it till it goes bad. But yeah, it's just didn't get there on Rogers. It's
only 10%. 5% Mark Hubbard. That's one. Like throw that away. Ches Reavie. Talked about him in the Sleepers video. I got 25% Ches Reavie. I like him quite a bit. I feel like he's undervalued.
Yeah,
I think he's a pro.
I didn't end up taking him, but I think I don't remember why. I like the play. I think he's good value. 7,000 seems cheap for him. But the problem is we haven't really seen good. I mean, we have seen flashes of it, but it's just more. Has he gotten through this rough stretch of golf? And I think we don't know whether we're in consistent Ches Reavie golf or if it's just going to be hot and cold week to week. But in a field like this, take the chance.
Yeah. My screen seems to be flip-flopping here, so hopefully it's back.
Normal. Looks like you got a little small on me. Well, it's good there now.
There we go.
You might just be narrow. You might just be just face.
Yeah,
just Ches Hubbard. Yep. Okay. Moving on. 69s. Okay, I've got 4 at 69. So.
Oh man, I got 4 as well.
Okay, so John Ha, Furyk, Hoagie, Percy.
Okay, so I went Ha, Furyk, Percy, McCarthy. Yeah, but I like the Hoagie play. Hoagie.
So McCarthy, his putter's been very good. But how long can he just do things with his putter,
I hope I got him and Patrick Rogers together. I don't know.
Yeah. So Percy and Furyk, I feel like we're on the same page. They just seem like good value cut makers.
Yeah. And Ha. I mean, Ha's one of my favorite plays. So Ha, I got 30%. I love Ha. I went in lengths with him on the sleeper video. He's played 8 times, I think, this year. He's made the cut in 7 of them. He's playing well. Like, there's tons of green around there. Approach game has been strong. Tee degree has been strong. I think he's one of my best, like, pure value plays the entire tournament.
Sorry, someone's just calling you the little brother.
Yep.
I wonder if, like, people never knew whether over time, like, how there's the whole personality traits of siblings. I wonder if people would be able to figure it out over time.
I don't know how to answer that.
Okay, so yeah, you're not on Hoagie. To me,
I was
this is a
I
dart
was
throw.
telling my wife about the DFR though. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Craig, do you want to explain to our people watching what that was?
Well, so
Or is that
essentially, this one time we
one
fart.
time? It was like a year.
No, it wasn't. It was just a
What
joke for
happened
a
is
while.
him and Kevin designated my room, the designated fart room, as the DFR, and they'd go in there to fart.
And then it was one of these things where Adam was like, I don't even know how old you would have been, but like we were teenagers and you were younger, and you just got so upset about it. And we just like, as soon as you get upset, it's just you show your weakness and you're going to be
Yeah.
exploited.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry. Percy to me, I think is the play from here. I love this play.
Okay.
And
Man, that's a bold call.
if you're playing one of these guys, play Percy. I've got 20% on basically all of them. I've got 15 on Hoagie, 20% on the rest, but this is the one I'm hanging my hat on. Okay,
I got one line.
I've got three more
Percy.
guys left, so I don't know where you're at.
I got a few. I'll rip them off after Denny McCarthy. So that was 6,900. So I got Wes Bryant, Steve Stricker, Charles Schwartzel, Seb Straka, and Robbie Shelton round out my 6Ks.
Okay, so I also am on West Bryan and Stricker, and then I have Bo Hogue at 66.
You know what? He was one of my last cuts.
Yeah. So West Bryan, we spoke about as a pick on the YouTube show.
Yeah.
He is a wild card, high upside,
Totally.
high cut likelihood. But yep, you got to roll the dice. Stricker, I think, is a bit more of a safe cut maker, but we'll hope that he has this form he has flash of recent potentially has some legitimacy to it.
Yeah, his approach game hasn't been strong, but I mean,
I'm only 15% on him.
I got 20.
But
yeah.
And then my last one is Bo Hogue, who has just played well of recent. So to me, if this can be a cut make potential with upside, even his missed cuts, he hasn't missed by much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think he's just playing some fairly good golf after not playing good golf for a while. But so that's it for me. Your other ones were.
I tend to agree with Hogue. So I got Charles Schwartzel at 6,800.
Yeah.
I mean, he was playing pretty fine golf in the fall, I feel like.
And
let's
then
take a shot.
off.
I got him in one lineup. Not much. Seb Straka, ball striker.
67.
Way too cheap. 67. Like, why? Trying to look at other people. Like,
he's been volatile of recent.
Yeah, but he easily could be 7,000 in this field. I only have 10% of him, but it's just ball striking upside. Same reason why I'm going back to Neesmith this week. And then Robbie Shelton, he's 6,600. Right there, yeah. Course history. Can pop 10%. That's all I got.
One start. It's a course history play.
It's a course history.
Okay, so we got Barry saying, Lucas, I think it's Hey Bear, isn't it? Hey Bear, or no, it's Herbert.
Oh yeah,
I always get these guys mixed up.
First things, everyone that's in the chat, hit that thumbs up. It really does mean a lot to us. We really appreciate it. Slide your mouse over, hit that thumbs up.
It's a long ways to go. I know.
There's a long ways to go.
Okay, so Herbert, I am not on him. I think he's a fine dart throw. I want to say, is this? I get a few of these guys confused. Is he the Euro Tour? Is he the Aussie? Or am I?
He is. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's the one who was a winner, a top 5 at a.
He's popped a couple times in Dubai.
I want to say he won in Dubai, or like in 2020, early 2020 or late 2019 or something. I could be wrong. I think anyone who has won a tournament like that, I think is a fine dart throw at this at this point.
He is like his PGA Tour experience is pretty limited. I was trying to do a little bit of homework just before we came on. It's definitely a dart throw, but it does again seem like he's got a couple of those top 5s in the European Tour, and his official world golf ranking is a little bit higher. I'm actually confused because I don't see a way that he's going to get into the match play at 70 unless there's enough movement. But I did read in an Australian newspaper he has been here for a little bit. So
Well,
yeah,
Berger. I mean, we have no Brooks. We have no Tiger. We have no. I mean, if Berger doesn't play, he only
yeah,
needs 6 guys to miss because COVID. He easily could be. So I mean, that might be why he's here, is because he's a high alternate for the match
yeah.
play. Um,
You could do a lot worse.
yeah.
In this
So
range.
Christian Cole. I think there's a French Aussie Tour player named
Hey
Hebert.
Bear.
Yeah, and so that those I get these two confused a lot, because sometimes when you're just looking at stats, things like their actual nationalities and who they are as a person starts to fall by the wayside when their names look similar.
We have Benjamin Hebert at 161 in the world.
Yeah, that's okay. So the other one, Lahiri, he's way down here if I remember correctly. I almost rostered him. He's played well, not for a while, but in the fall he was playing well.
You know what? I
Um,
feel like he's been playing better than that shows. Like his approach game has been, I feel like, pretty good. I played him more than I should have this year. I played him in some showdowns and some tourney longs.
he's done well in weaker fields in the past, so I think at 6,300.
I think he's slowly turning
This
in
is the
the
reason
right
I didn't.
direction.
I mean, essentially, I don't see slowly turning in any direction, but it's a weaker field, obviously. He made the cut at Puerto Rico, which was a weak
He
field.
makes I feel like he makes a ton of birdies. He's a really good golfer, but he seems to have a blow up hole every single round. But he makes a
Well,
ton of
I'd be
birdies.
happy with just one, personally.
Yeah.
Anyone else down here that people want to chat about? Oh, Campos was brought up. I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know where he is.
I
Oh
don't know what
man,
he's priced at.
I'm gonna be out of here fairly soon. I've still got Henry upstairs. My dog's upstairs, just making noise at me. So
Yeah,
let us know
Campos
if
was
there are questions. Let us know.
yeah, well, hop in our Discord.
Yeah,
Links below. Come in the Discord. We're gonna be there.
Campos is 66. I'd like to see what he's done of recent. I'd like to know. I think it was Barry.
T3 Puerto
Barry was
Rico,
saying
and
he
he's
was
got
on him. Oh, it was the
T7
Puerto
at the
Rico. Yeah.
Corn Ferry event the week prior. So he's playing well. I mean, as 2 top 10s in a row.
Von Taylor's a dart throw. I mean, he's made about half his cuts of recent, but has a couple top 30s. Looking back, he's got a few top 30s.
Yeah, just like going back to Colts fan, like you could make a lineup with $2,200 on the board and it could be optimal. Like this is a weird week.
Yeah.
This is a weird week.
I mean, essentially in this, I would say the upper half of the 6Ks, tons of these guys could be, top 10 potential and miss a cut. Obviously, that's golf, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way you can predict it. So you kind of just have to take the shots on guys you feel good about. Adam Long, I do remember considering him for a second, but he did not obviously make my.
T22 at the Players, a bunch of missed cuts before.
Has he turned form? I don't know.
He seems to
He
go on
was
these long
good through the
stretches.
fall. I remember that.
Yeah, he goes on these long stretches, right?
If you believe the form's turned, then
Yeah.
that's the play. So unless there's anything else, let's call it a night. I'm going to free my dog from his crate and make sure that he is not going to whine like this anymore.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks everybody for joining. Subscribe, like, all that kind of good stuff. We'll catch you at the Showdown videos though. Showdown, 9:30 p.m. Eastern every single night of the tournament.
Good luck, guys. Have a good week.
All right.
Plant your flags on Brandon Wu like me. Or don't, and then I'll be out there by myself happily. Good luck.